Tashintsu, the power to know others' minds, by Eihei Dogen, from Shobogenzo, the treasury of the true Dharma I. National Master Ekkyu of Kutakoji Temple in the western capital is a man from Shoki in Eishu district. His family name is Zen. After receiving the Mind Seal, he lives on Hakugaizan Mountain in Tosu-koku Valley in Nanyo district. For more than 40 years, he never goes down from the temple gate. But rumor of his practice of the truth is heard even in the imperial capital. In the second year of Jogen, during the reign of Tang Emperor Shukuso, the emperor sends his private messenger, Son Chosin, to convey the decree that the master should come to the capital. The emperor receives Master Echu with the courtesies shown to one's master, and installs him by imperial decree at Seizen-in Monastery, in the grounds of Senpukoji Temple. When the Emperor Daiso takes the throne, he also sends for the master, and has him stay at Kotaku Temple. During 16 years there, the master preaches the Dharma according to practitioners' makings. At that time, a certain Daini Sanzo from India arrives in the capital, saying, "I have attained the eye that intuits the minds of others." The emperor decrees that the national master should examine him. As soon as Sanzo meets the master, he prostrates himself at once and stands to the master's right. The master says, "Have you got the power to know others' minds?" Sanzo answers, "I would not be so bold as to say so." The master says, "Tell me where this old monk is just now." Sanzo says, "Master, you are the teacher of the whole country. Why have you gone to the West River to watch a boat race?" The master asks a second time, "Tell me where the old monk is just now." Sanzo says, "Master, you are the teacher of the whole country. Why are you on Tianjin Bridge watching someone play with a monkey?" The master asks a third time, "Tell me where the old monk is just now." Sanzo takes a good while, but he does not know where the master has been. The master scolds him, saying, "You ghost of a wild fox, where is your power to know others' minds?" Sanzo has no answer. A monk asks Joshu, "Daini Sanzo does not see where the national master is the third time. I wonder where the national master is." Joshu says, "He is right on Sanzo's nostrils. A monk asked Gensa if he is already on Sanzo's nostrils. Why does Sanzo not see him? Gensa says, simply because of being enormously close. A monk asked Kyozan, why does Daini Sanzo not see the national master the third time? Kyozan says, the first two times the master's mind is concerned with external circumstances. Then he enters the samadhi of receiving and using the self, and so Sanzo does not see him. Kai-e Shutan says, if the national master is right on Sanzo's nostrils, what difficulty could Sanzo have in seeing him? After all, it has not been recognized that the national master is inside Sanzo's eyeballs. Gensa chides Sanzo. You, say, have you seen at all, even the first two times? Zen master Myokaku Juken of Secho says, I am defeated. I am defeated. The odorous fists are many who, since ancient times, have made comments on and assertions about the story of how National Master Daisho tested Daini Sanzo, but there are 5 particularly venerable old fists among them. And although I do not deny that the insight and accuracy of each of these 5 venerable patriarchs are very insightful and accurate, there are many respects in which they have not glimpsed the conduct of the national master. The reason, if asked, is that all concerned, past and present, have thought that the first 2 times Sanzo unerringly knew the national master's situation. This is our ancestors' great error, and we students of later ages should not be ignorant of it. My present doubts about the 5 venerable patriarchs are twofold. First, the venerable patriarchs do not know the national master's fundamental intention in examining Sanzo. Second, they do not know the national master's body and mind. Now, the reason I say that they do not know the national master's fundamental intention in examining Sanzo is as follows. The first time the national master says, tell me where this old monk is just now. His fundamental intention is to question whether Sanzo has eyes that see and hear the Buddha Dharma. He is questioning whether Sanzo has within himself the power to know others' minds, which belongs to the Buddha Dharma. At this time, if the Buddha Dharma were present in Sanzo, when asked, Where is the old monk just now? He would have a way of getting the body out. He would manifest a practical means that was familiar to him. The National Master's words, "Where is the old monk just now?" are as if to ask, "What is the old monk?" Where is the old monk just now asks, just now is what kind of moment? Is where asserts that this place is where something ineffable exists. The Master's words contain the truth of calling something ineffable the old monk. The National Master is not necessarily an old monk, but the old monk is always a fist. Daini Sanzo does not know this idea because, although he has come from the faraway western heavens, he has not learned the Buddha's truth. And because he has only vainly learned the ways of non-Buddhists and the two vehicles, the National Master asks again, "Tell me where the old monk is just now." And here again Sanzo offers futile words. The National Master asks once again, "Tell me where the old monk is just now." This time Sanzo takes a while, but is dumbfounded and without a response. Then the National Master scolds Sanzo, saying, "You ghost of a wild fox, where is your power to know others' minds?" Even after being scolded like this, Sanzo still has nothing to say for himself. He does not respond. He has no through route. Nevertheless, the ancestors all think, in regard to the National Master's scolding of Sanzo, the first two times Sanzo knew where the National Master was. He does not know and does not see only at the third time, and therefore he is scolded by the National Master. This is a great mistake. The National Master's scolding of Sanzo scolds Sanzo outright for never having seen the Buddha Dharma from the beginning, even in a dream. He does not scold Sanzo for having known the first two times, but not knowing the third time. He scolds Sanzo outright for boasting that he has attained the power to know others' minds, when in fact he does not know others' minds. The National Master first tests Sanzo by asking whether the power to know others' minds exists in the Buddha Dharma. By saying, "I would not be so bold," Sanzo seems to affirm that it exists. After that, the National Master thinks, if we say that the power to know others' minds exists in the Buddha Dharma, and if we cause the power to know others' minds to exist in the Buddha Dharma, it should be in such and such a state. If expression of the state lacks the total manifestation of the state, it cannot be the Buddha Dharma. Even if Sanzo narrowly managed to say something the third time, if it had anything in common with the first two attempts, it would not include expression of the state, and the master would have to scold him outright. In now venturing to ask 3 times, the national master is asking again and again whether Sanzo is able to understand the national master's question. And so he repeats the question 3 times. The second doubt is that none of the ancestors has known the body and mind of the national master. What I have called the body and mind of the national master cannot easily be seen or known by Dharma teachers of the 3 baskets. It is beyond even bodhisattvas in the 10 sacred stages and the 3 clever stages, and it is not clarified by bodhisattvas at the place of assignment or in the state of balanced awareness. How could a scholar of the 3 baskets, a common man, know the whole body of the national master? We must affirm this principle with total certainty. To say that the body-mind of the national master could be known or could be seen by a scholar of the 3 baskets is an insult to the Buddha Dharma. To recognize that the master's body and mind might be on the level of a teacher of sutras and commentaries is the utmost madness. Do not learn that a person who has attained the power to know others' mind might be able to know the place where the national master is. From time to time, there are people who acquire the power to know others' minds as an ethnic custom of the Western country, India, but no example has ever been heard of a person who, without relying upon establishment of the Bodhi mind, and without relying on the right viewpoint of the great vehicle, has attained the power to know others' minds, and by virtue of the power to know others' minds, has realized the Buddha Dharma. Even after acquiring the power to know others' minds, if a person proceeds as a common man to establish the will and to undergo training, he will naturally be able to experience and to enter the Buddha's truth. If it were possible to know the Buddha's truth only by virtue of the power to know others' minds, all the past saints would have first learned the power to know others' minds, and then used that ability to know the Buddha effect. During the appearance in the world of even 1,000 Buddhas and 10,000 patriarchs, such a thing will never be. Of what use are those who are unable to know the truth of the Buddhist patriarchs? We can say that they are of no use in Buddhism. One who has attained the power to know others' minds, and a common man who has not attained the power to know others' minds, may be exactly equal in maintaining and relying upon the Buddha nature. A mind reader and a common man may be the same. Students of the state of Buddha must never think that non-Buddhists and people of the two vehicles who have the 5 powers, the 6 powers, are superior to the common man. A person who has only the will to the truth, yet hopes to learn the Buddha Dharma, may be superior to a person who has the 5 powers or 6 powers, as the song of the Kalavinka, even in the egg, is superior to the song of ordinary birds. Furthermore, what is called in India the power to know others' minds should be called the power to know the images in others' minds. Mind readers may dimly detect on the outer edges of perception images arising in the mind. In the absence of images in the mind, however, they are dumbfounded. That must be laughable. Moreover, the mind is not always mental images, and mental images are not always the mind. When the mind becomes the image, the power to know others' minds cannot know it. And when the image becomes the mind, the power to know others' minds cannot know it. This being so, the 5 powers and the 6 powers are not equal to our mowing weeds and working the fields in this country. They are of no use at all. For this reason, all the past masters in and to the east of China have not liked to practice the 5 powers and the 6 powers, because there is no need to do so. Even a 1-foot gem can be necessary, but the 5 powers and the 6 powers are not necessary. Even a 1-foot gem is not a treasure, but every inch of time is vital. How could a person who attaches importance to time want to learn the 5 or 6 powers? In sum, we should decisively affirm the principle that the power to read others' minds cannot reach the boundary of the Buddha's wisdom. For each of the 5 venerable patriarchs to have thought, on the contrary, that the first 2 times Sanzo knew the situation of the national master is greatly mistaken. The national master is a Buddhist patriarch. Sanzo is a common man. How could we even discuss a meeting between the 2 of them? First, the national master says, "Tell me where the old monk is just now." There is nothing hidden in this question. It contains a clearly manifest expression of the state. That Sanzo does not know, it is not his fault. That the 5 venerable patriarchs neither see nor hear it is a mistake. The national master has said already, "Where is the old monk just now?" He never says, "Tell me where the old monk's mind is just now." He does not say, "Where are the old monk's thoughts just now?" What he says is an expression of the state, which is extremely necessary to observe and to inspect. Nevertheless, the 5 venerable patriarchs neither know nor see it. They neither hear nor see the national master's expression of the state, and for that reason they do not know the body and mind of a national master, because one in whom there is expression of the state is called national master, and because one who lacks expression of the state cannot be a national master. Moreover, they cannot recognize that the national master's body-mind is beyond big and small, and beyond self and others. They seem to have forgotten that he possesses the brains and possesses the nostrils. Though the national master has no time free from practice, how could he intend to become Buddha? Therefore, we should not expect to meet him by referring to Buddha. The national master already possesses the body-mind of the Buddha Dharma. We cannot fathom it through mystical powers and practice and experience, and we cannot suppose it by means of transcending thought and forgetting involvements. It is never hit by thinking or non-thinking. The national master is beyond having the Buddha nature, is beyond not having the Buddha nature, and is beyond the body of space. This state of the national master's body-mind is utterly beyond recognition. In the present lineage, from the order of Soke, besides Seigen and Nangaku, only the national master Daisho is such a Buddhist patriarch. Now, I would like to test and to defeat each of the 5 venerable patriarchs. Joshu says that because the national master is right on Sanzo's nostrils, Sanzo does not see him. This expression has no meaning. How could the national master be right on Sanzo's nostrils? Sanzo has never had nostrils. If we affirm that nostrils are present in Sanzo, then the national master, from his side, should meet with Sanzo. A meeting of the national master and Sanzo, if we affirm that there is one, may simply be a pair of nostrils facing a pair of nostrils. Sanzo cannot really meet with the national master at all. Gensa says, simply because of being enormously close. Certainly, his enormously close can be left as it is, but still he has missed the point. What is enormous closeness? I guess that Gensa has never known enormous closeness, or experienced enormous closeness. The reason, if asked, is that he only knows that in being enormously close, there is no seeing each other, but he does not know that mutual realization is enormous closeness itself. We can say that in regard to the Buddha Dharma, he is the farthest of the far. To describe only the third time as enormously close would suggest that the state of the first two times was enormously distant. Now, let us ask Gensa, what do you call enormously close? Are you describing a fist? Are you describing the eye? From now on, do not say that nothing is seen in the state of being enormously close. Kyozan says, the first two times, the master's mind is concerned with external circumstances. Then he enters the samadhi of receiving and using the self, and so Sanzo does not see him. Kyozan, though you live in an eastern land, you have extended your acclaim as a lesser Shakyamuni even to India in the west. Nevertheless, your words now contain a great error. The mind that is concerned with external circumstances and the samadhi of receiving and using the self are not different. Therefore, you should not say that Sanzo does not see, because of the difference between the mind that is concerned with external circumstances and the state of receiving and using the self. That being so, though you proffer a reason based on the difference between the state of receiving and using the self and the mind that is concerned with external circumstances, your expression is not an expression at all. If you say, when I enter the samadhi of receiving and using the self, other people cannot see me, then the state of receiving and using the self can never experience the state of receiving and using the self. and there can be no practice and experience. Kyozan, if you understand that Sanzo really believes that he sees where the National Master is, not only the third time, but also the first 2 times, you are not yet a person who is learning Buddha. In short, Daini Sanzo neither knows nor sees where the National Master is, not only the third time, but also the first 2 times. And if you are, as the above expression suggests, Sanzo is not the only one who does not know the situation of the National Master. We might say that Kyozan also has never known the situation of the National Master. Now I will ask Kyozan, where is the National Master just now? And at that moment, if Kyozan makes to open his mouth, I will at once let out a yell. Gensa chides Sanzo, saying, "Have you seen the National Master at all, even the first 2 times? The present utterance, have you seen at all, even the first 2 times? Sounds as if it says what needs to be said." But Gensa should study his own words. The excellence of this remark is as it is. At the same time, it is not right, because it seems only to suggest that Sanzo's seeing is like not seeing. Hearing the above, Juken, Zen Master Myokaku of Secho-Zan Mountain says, "I am defeated. I am defeated." When we have seen Gensa's words as the truth, we should say this. But when we do not see Gensa's words as the truth, we should not say this. Kai-e Shutan says, if the National Master is right on Sanzo's nostrils, what difficulty could Sanzo have in seeing him? Above all, it has not been recognized that the National Master is inside Sanzo's eyeballs. This again discusses only the third time. It does not criticize Sanzo as he should be criticized for never having seen at all, even the first 2 times. How could Kai-e recognize that the National Master was on Sanzo's nostrils or inside his eyeballs? If he speaks like this, I must say that he has never heard the National Master's words. Sanzo has never had nostrils or eyes. Even supposing that Sanzo were to maintain and rely upon eyeballs and nostrils of his own, if the National Master came and entered those nostrils and eyeballs, Sanzo's nostrils and eyeballs would each instantly be split apart. Having been split apart, they would not be a haunt of the National Master. None of the 5 venerable patriarchs knows the national master. The national master is an eternal Buddha through all the ages, and a Tathagata for all the world. He has clarified and received the authentic transmission of the Buddha's right Dharma eye treasury, and has securely retained black bead eyes. He passes the authentic transmission to the Buddha of himself, and he passes the authentic transmission to the Buddha of others. He has already experienced the same state as Shakyamuni Buddha, and yet he is investigating the state simultaneously with the 7 Buddhas. At the same time, he has experienced the same state as all the Buddhas of the 3 times. He has realized the truth before Emptiness King. He has realized the truth after Emptiness King. And he has realized the truth in the same as, and just in the time of, the Buddha Emptiness King. The national master has always seen the world as his national land. At the same time, the Saha world is not necessarily present within his world of Dharma, and not necessarily present within his whole universe in 10 directions. And Shakyamuni Buddha, as the ruler of Saha nations, neither usurps nor restricts the national land of the national master. Just as, for example, former and latter Buddhist patriarchs each have countless realizations of the truth, but they neither detract from nor restrict each other. The situation is like this because former and latter Buddhist patriarchs' realizations of the truth are restricted in each case by realization of the truth itself. With Daini Sanzo's failure to know the national master as evidence, we should decisively affirm the principle that Shravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas, people of the small vehicle, do not know the periphery of a Buddhist patriarch. We should clarify and learn the national master's intention in scolding Sanzo as follows. Even if the national master himself scolded Sanzo for knowing his situation the first 2 times, and only failing to know the 3rd time, that would be meaningless. To know 2/3 of the whole is to know the whole itself. Sanzo would not deserve to be scolded for being like that. If he were scolded, it would not be for failing to know completely. Sanzo's attitude is an insult to the national master. If the national master scolded Sanzo on not being recognized only the 3rd time, who could believe in the national master? With ability that had been able to know the first 2 times, Sanzo might scold the national master. The National Master's intention in scolding Sanzo is this. He scolds Sanzo for totally failing all 3 times from the outset to know the National Master's situation, his thoughts, and his body-mind. He scolds Sanzo for never having seen, heard, or learned the Buddha Dharma at all. With this intention, from the first time to the 3rd time, he questions Sanzo with the same words. At the first try, Sanzo says, "Master, you are the teacher of the whole country. Why have you gone to the West River to watch a boat race?" Addressed thus, the National Master never agrees. Yes, Sanzo, you have truly recognized the situation of the old monk. He only repeats the question again and again, 3 times. Failing to recognize and failing to clarify this fact, old veterans in all directions, for several centuries since the time of the National Master, have delivered comments and set forth theories at random. The comments of each past individual are wholly irrelevant to the original intention of the National Master, and they do not accord with the fundamental teaching of the Buddha Dharma. It is pitiful that the old drills of the past have each blundered on in error. Now, if we say that there is the power to know others' minds in the Buddha Dharma, there must be the power to know others' bodies. There must be the power to know others' fists, and there must be the power to know others' eyes. That being so, there must be the power to know our own mind, and there must be the power to know our own body. If the state is like this already, self-command of our own mind may be nothing other than the power to know our own mind. When expressions like this are realized, the state may be the power to know others' minds, which naturally emerges from the self itself and from the mind itself. Now, let us ask, is it right to command the power to know others' minds? Or is it right to command the power to know our own minds? Speak at once. Speak at once. Setting that aside, we can conclude that "you have got my marrow" is just the power to know others' minds. Preached to the assembly at Daibutsuji Temple in Etsu-u on the 4th day of the 7th lunar month in the 3rd year of Kangen.